Just to let you know, I spoke earlier this morning, so this time will be a little bit better than before, and so hopefully you get what I'm looking for. As I was preparing to speak about my journey, about Easter Sunday, one of the things I really struggled with was, one, speaking about my past, because on Easter Sunday, I realized that my past is my past, and God's pointing me in a direction and a future that I really look forward to, and so I'll get through the past stuff and kind of get into the present and future stuff as quick as possible. But like Jeff stated earlier, when I was first going to church as a kid growing up, I grew up in the church, and I went to Sunday school, and I went through the sacraments, and when it came time to be confirmed in the Catholic Church, I was about 18 or so, and that was kind of my first chance to really, decide if I was in or if I was out, and I was out. God wasn't in my life. When I sat in the pews, He wasn't there, and when I went through my daily life, He wasn't there. It was just something I did on Sundays, and and Christmas and Easter, and that was it. So I decided to give up and try to walk the world or travel along this road alone, and that's a lonely place. For about 10 years, I was just kind of in and out of relationships, and got into kind of a really bad relationship that I kind of stuck through for several years, and depended on drugs and alcohol to, make my life a little bit better. But, like probably a lot of people say when they're up here, that doesn't lead anywhere, that doesn't do anything. And so a couple of years ago, I moved back to Durango and started going to school, and I thought I figured everything out. I was free of the relationship, I thought I was free of the alcohol, I figured I'd grown up, and I was, I had the world figured out, and it was going well and doing great. And about January last year, I just started realizing, something's wrong, something's missing, life is great and all, and I have great relationships, and I love what I'm studying, and I'm really happy where I'm at, but I still felt alone and just wasn't really stoked where I was in life. And so, I had a great friend, and we had just been talking and stuff, and she invited me to church, and I said, no, thanks, that's cool. A little while later, I was at her house hanging out and looking at her bookshelf, and there was this book called Radical, and I was like, hey, Radical? That's, I say radical, I say awesome, I say beauty. So I opened it up and I started reading, and I was like, wow, this is how people see God. This is how people challenge themselves with God. And I was like, and it was nothing I had ever thought or even dreamed of. And so I kept reading, and she invited me to church again, and I was like, sure, I'll go for a ride, whatever, and I remember the first day I came back, I was out front, waiting to meet her, and I had this red jacket on, pretty bright red, and I just knew coming in that door like I was going to be busted. Some of you have heard this before, but I knew when I walked in the alarm would go off, sinner alert, stay away from this guy. And I just knew like I was busted. I walked in, and people were great. They just shook my hand and made me feel welcome. I was like, all right, it's cool. I'm not being judged for my shorts and my sweet red jacket. We sat and sang and talked and everything. And I kept reading Radical. I'll be honest, I didn't open a Bible for about a month or so during that process. And Easter Sunday came along, and I just thought it was going to be kind of like any other Sunday. We were going to sit and sing, and I was going to feel better when I left. And it wasn't anything like that. I actually remember this, and I didn't say it the last time, but kind of sat in this middle section, second or third row, and my first thought was, wow, I'm not going to be able to see the screen, so I'm not going to be able to sing the words. And so that was my first thought. But as I was here and I was singing and just contemplating and reflecting on life, and that's when I gave in, I was tired of being alone, and I was tired of dealing with just the garbage of life, and I wasn't even close to having everything together, but I was ready for something else, and I just gave in right around there, and I cried a little, and cried a lot actually, and I was just so thankful, and gave my God to life, and so things have definitely changed and been pretty amazing. And He's in my life every day, and He works hard, and just kind of a story to describe how that is I'm about to graduate, and so for the last year I've been looking for jobs, and I thought I had one starting back in September. I started talking to this program, and I was talking to everybody, and just really excited. And I got my grad school application filled out. I'm talking to athletic trainers, and I'm talking to staff, and have my interview with them. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm moving to Atlanta. I know exactly that I'm going to be there. I'm going to be working at a big school. I'm set. And I have my interview, and I talk to him. I'm like, oh, I got it. I'm telling Jeff, I'm like, I got it, dude. It's awesome. And about a week or two goes by, and they call, and they're like, no thanks, we're going some other direction. And I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. God doesn't want me there. And in the past, I would have just crumbled and been like, well, I'm not good enough. I'm done. But that same week, I was like, all right, I'll just find something else. God doesn't want me there. And so I found this little school in Cleveland, Mississippi. Don't bother Googling it. You'll go to a Cleveland, Ohio website. And I was like, I'll take a chance, whatever. And got down there, and I just thought it was going to be a regular old kind of deal, and had my interview, talked to everybody, and things were great. And it got to be my time to ask some questions, and and I just wanted to know what the head athletic trainer there thought about athletic training, why he liked it, because it just seems like a question you should always ask. And I thought I'd get the run of the mill. I like game day. I like being around the athletes. And right at the end, he said, but the most important thing is if I can just affect one of these kids and show them that there's more in life than athletics, and just kind of help them along, that would be really awesome. And I was like, wow, that's kind of what I've been thinking, what I want to do with my career. And we talked a little bit about Christ, and just kind of, we didn't get crazy or anything, but I just knew that it was the place for me. And so I was just super excited. And so that's just kind of a way to help explain that feeling, because I don't know if I can give it justice, in words about what it meant to give my life to God, but just to know that He's in my life. And I guess one way I just would like to close is just that my favorite book in the Bible is Matthew, and hopefully everybody else does, but anyways, so the way I know that God's with me always is at the end of Matthew, Jesus Christ says, I've commanded you, and behold, I'm with you always to the end of age. And I'm just so thankful that He is with me till the end of age, and with all of you. So thank you for this time to speak, and also thank you for those of you who prayed last year that something great would happen on Easter, because it was your prayers that saved my soul. So thank you.